Okay, the first thing I see is addition of fraction and integer, so I'll drag the text box onto the screen,
Mhm.
and then I'll type addition of fraction and integer. There we go. And then I see a done key, which seems similar to this one, so I'll go ahead and click the done key and drag it over next to the text box. Okay. Then I see 3 more text boxes, it looks like, above the boxes, so I'll go ahead and drag one here and type given integer.
That is cool. You're like pretty fast in getting things. Great.
And then next to given integer, I see given fraction, so I'll drag another text box over next to given integer and type given fraction. There we go. And then the last one I see is results, so I'll drag another text box to the right of that, and then type result. There we go.
Could you explain why did you start from text boxes and not boxes?
So I looked at the tools menu, and the first couple I see were text box and box, and then as I was scanning down visually on the target interface, I saw the text first. So I guess the way that I would try to recreate it is top down, almost like you were reading a book or reading a page.
That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, the next thing I see is there are boxes here, and I see a box tool, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that I'll drag a box over underneath given integer to represent that one. And then I see a plus sign. I also see a line tool and a plus sign here, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that I should use the actual plus sign, because that seems
Yes.
like that's the mathematical function. So I'll click the plus sign and drag it over next to the box. There we go. And then there's a numerator for the numerator and the denominator. I'll just take a box for each one. So I'll take the numerator and put the box next to the plus sign. And this is probably the most confusing thing I would say is I don't know if this division should be represented as a line or with a division tool. So
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and say it looks like a large line because this division tool is sort of oriented in like the backslash manner, and this is sort of a line. So I'm going to go ahead and take the line tool and draw it, like click next to it and drag it over underneath to create the fraction bar. And then I'll just take another box and drag it over for the denominator.
Okay.
And I see the equal sign next to it, so I'll go ahead and click the equal sign and drag it next to the fraction. And then similar to the fraction here, under the results, there's a similar fraction bar with a numerator and a denominator. So I'll click a box, drag it over for the numerator, then click the line tool and drag a similar line over to create the fraction bar. And then the last box I see is the denominator, so I'll just click a box and drag it over under the fraction bar. And then the last thing I see is this large hint tool. So it looks like this is pretty pre-built, so I'll just go ahead and click the hint tool and drag it underneath. And I think that should finish it up.
Great. So what do you feel about the total interface as such? Is it like easy to navigate and understand at first glance or something?
I think it's very easy to understand at first glance. I like the fact this is pretty compact and visually appealing or easy to understand. So I was able to get the text box pretty quickly. The boxes seems pretty self-explanatory. Maybe it seems like there would be integers or numbers that would be entered into the box. So maybe like a number box, or maybe you could specify the type of box.
Okay.
Although I don't know what else you would use the box tool for. So
Okay.
And then, like I said before, the fraction bar is slightly confusing whether you should use the line tool or the actual division tool in the mathematical operators here.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, it's very easy to use. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem.